What up, Chiefs Kingdom? I'm BJ Kissel. That's Kent Swanson. And Tucker Franklin is producing for us. We're at the Kingdom Bar and Grille out in Overland Park, Kansas, as we break down what we've seen in the first half between the Chiefs and the 49ers. Chiefs take a 14-13 lead. And Kent, kind of a meh game so far. And at least for me personally, I feel like Chiefs are kind of lucky for the score to be what it is right now.
I mean, yeah, they've made some uncharacteristic mistakes. They've shot themselves in the foot a little bit. The interception by Mahomes to start their opening possession, Sky Moore, another fumble in the return game. Now, I think the response has largely been very good as a team. You saw Joshua Williams coming in big form and keeping them from out of the end zone after that big turnover. But I think it wasn't the prettiest performance, wasn't the prettiest 30 minutes that we've seen from this football team.
And frustrating, obviously, right there. Harrison Butker missing a 39-yard field goal. Second miss he's had in 2 weeks. He hits the 62-yarder, misses what Jim Nantz called a chip shot. And then misses that one, which was even more of a chip shot for one of the best kickers in the NFL. Just not what you want to see on the road against a team that, going into this game, you knew it was going to be a grind. You knew 49ers, especially as healthy, these guys were going to be ready to play. It was going to be a physical game. These guys are well coached. We've seen, some, I would say, bad tackling. It just seems like whenever the 49ers are scooting through, they're getting those extra 2 or 3 yards. And those 3rd and 7s, 3rd and 6s, or 3rd and 2s, 3rd and 3s, that part, for me at least, going into the second half, that's defensively what I'm most interested in cleaning up. The short passes across the middle, that's what Jimmy G does. That's what the 49ers like to do. It's the runs where they're getting clogged up at the line of scrimmage and scooting through for a few extra yards, always falling forward. That part's got to get cleaned up, in my opinion.
You've kind of seen, I think, when Jimmy G is behind the sticks, he is very susceptible to some plays. And if the Chiefs are going to, get him into those, they've got to be better on first and second down with their tackling. Yeah. Too many plays look like negative plays behind the line of scrimmage turned into 2-yard gains because of bad tackling and playing too high and coming up too high. I think the Chiefs, they try a little bit too much at times to try to play for the ball, and sometimes they just need to wrap up and try to keep things down where they are. So that'll be something to clean up for sure on that side of the ball.
Yeah, and we knew coming into this game, the big storyline, or one of the big storylines. And before we get into Christian McCaffrey, if you have any questions, comments, let us know what you thought about the Chiefs' first half. Give us a grade. Tucker will bring those comments up. We'll respond to those. If you got any questions for us or thoughts, we'll bring those up here on the screen. But, storyline coming into this game with the trade for Christian McCaffrey going on Thursday Night Football has a day and a half. And so far, it looks like he's got 52 yards on, 7 touches, which is very Christian McCaffrey-like. Knew what kind of impact he was going to have in a Kyle Shanahan offense, especially with Trent Williams back along the offensive line. And he's been as advertised. You knew he was going to come out and make plays. Got to do a better job of tackling, but that's what Christian McCaffrey does.
We sure that Shaney didn't give him the playbook when they were exchanging, high fives and handshakes after the –
That'd be illegal, right? That'd be tampering.
It could be. Some would say that, but this isn't a limited role for him right now. He is playing at full capacity.
Yeah. And let's not confuse it. As long as the language and it's being communicated to him clearly as far as what he's supposed to do, let's not pretend that Christian McCaffrey can't get some basic things down. It's not a lot of creativity that they're giving with his offense. He's just getting the ball, reading and reacting. And I'm sure he's liking running behind this offensive line, Trent Williams in this offense compared to what he was doing in Carolina.
On the play designs and everything, Christian McCaffrey is, he's an elite running back, and now he's playing in an elite running back system. Kyle Shanahan has slapped together offenses and 1,000-yard rushers with late day 3 picks with great consistency. And the thing that I'm so intrigued by is it feels like it's been a pretty diverse scheme for Christian McCaffrey. Like, he's been utilized in a lot of different ways on a lot of different blocking concepts already. I find that extremely interesting too, because, they talk about, hey, the load management and, we're probably not going to be able to throw too much at him and all this stuff. It doesn't seem like it to me. It feels like they've been pretty diverse and multiple with him.
Yeah. Only he would know, and only the coaching staff would know what the language is compared to other offenses he's been in Carolina with different coaches there, different offensive coordinators. As long as they can make it make sense for him in whatever language he did understand or has worked in throughout his career, I don't think it's not anything so different that he hadn't had in his career. But let's switch back to the other side. One of the guys that interested to see what his role is going to be in the second half, particularly on special teams, Nicole Hardman.
Yeah.
Been one of his better games. That touchdown he had, Reese kind of showed some patience, and I looked at him and I was like, that's one of the most mature plays on the field that we had seen from Nicole, waiting for the blockers, waiting for everything to kind of develop, and then basically walked into the end zone. Andrew Wiley finished the last guy off there. But do you expect to see Nicole Hardman returning punts in the second half? Because Sky Moore, he is not comfortable back there. It's not something he did in college. That experiment, whatever you want to call it, it's not working right now, and it's starting to hurt you again. Those are decision-making type things. At this point, I would just make the move and put McCole back there to return kicks. His role in the offense isn't so big that's going to hurt him by having him going back there, even if he fair catches it every time.
And it's going to kind of sound funny for Chiefs fans because I don't think anybody was anticipating clamoring for McCole Hardman to return punts, because it's kind of been an adventure for him in his time here too. But he looks a lot more comfortable back there. He looks a lot better back there than what Sky Moore has to this point. It's been uncomfortable for him multiple weeks. Even when he catches it, it doesn't seem like he's catching it cleanly. Yeah. He doesn't seem like he's going to get much back there because he's so intent on securing the football that it's hard for him to make and create a lot after that too, just because he doesn't seem comfortable. And so, I know there's some iffy decision making that McCole's made inside the 10 about whether to catch it, whether to let it go, and some of that kind of stuff at times. I think I'd rather take my chances of just making sure the ball gets back in Mahomes' hands. Yeah. And, and instead of risking, kind of what we've seen with Sky Moore a couple of times.
Let's start a little bit about the positive on the Chiefs' offensive line side. They've done a pretty good job of keeping Mahomes clean. I don't remember a lot of plays where Mahomes is running for his life, running away from Nick Bosa outside of the one hands to the face from Andrew Wiley. I feel like the Chiefs' offensive line has done a pretty good job. Thought it was interesting coming into it. We saw the report from Ian Rappaport from NFL Network. Before this game that Isaiah Pacheco was going to be the starter and that he was going to get all the carries. He's got 4 carries for 12 yards. He's not getting the ball. They've only ran the ball 8 times compared to 21 passes. I don't know if that's just kind of leaking some stuff out the morning of the game to try to get it in the 49ers' head or whatever, but it doesn't seem like there's been a huge emphasis in getting the running game going, much to our guy Nick Lecky's dismay, I'm sure.
Yeah, I don't think it's necessarily a bad choice either. The Chiefs really haven't had a ton of success running the football. You just kind of talked about, 4 carries, 12 yards for Pacheco so far. They're really not getting much push down there. They're showing it enough to make the Niners think twice a little bit. But, they've had success in the passing game. I think the Chiefs have moved the ball. And outside of that first possession, the Chiefs have actually moved the ball extremely well. Even they scored a touchdown. And the call got back. The play got called back on a very questionable call. So
Chiefs are averaging 8.6 yards per play offensively.
Yeah, that's decent.
They're doing all right.
That dog will hunt. Yeah. I think the shine of the game kind of wore off a little bit just because of that first drive. But honestly, the offense has moved the ball. Mahomes has played great. Mahomes has felt comfortable. He's hung in the pocket. He's done a really good job staying in the pocket and giving structure a chance from the pocket today. Which is kind of not honestly surprising, but as good of a front as the Niners have, that's saying something. And
obviously an emphasis throughout the week.
Absolutely, especially and the Niners have done this a little bit. They played the rush 3 and spy like the Bills did last week. And Mahomes' response is, let's hang in the pocket a little bit. Let's give this play a chance. And he's been rewarded for that because he's made some great throws from the pocket today.
All right, let's talk about what we want to see in the second half. Defensive changes. What do you want to see him be a little bit better at? I talked about tackling and just trying to keep Jimmy G behind the sticks, kind of like you talked about.
I think it's first and second down defense, and tackling's a little bit about that. And I think maybe a little bit of run blitzing. You saw Leo Chenal with some really nice rushes, some run blitzing. He was changing the line of scrimmage. So If they're going to play heavier personnel, if they're going to play that 4-3 personnel, I'd like to see a little bit of run blitzing from a guy like Leo Chanel, see if he can kind of disrupt the backfield a little bit.
All right, before we get to the offense, make sure you hit that like and subscribe button. Again, we will be going live right after the game with the KCSN post-game show again here from the Kingdom Bar and Grille out in Overland Park. A lot of Chiefs fans here, hoping for the Chiefs to get the ball in the second half, get things going. And like I said, offensively, feels like they've been pretty good. But what would you like to see differently for the Chiefs offensively to get things going in the second half?
I don't change a thing. Just keep doing what you're doing. I think offensively, just don't turn the ball over. You're going to be fine. I think this first possession is huge. A fast start here would be really, really nice, especially since you just came away empty with that really brilliant minute and a half drive with essentially, I think, one timeout. If you start fast, go get a touchdown. That can really change the complexion of this game. It can really, hey, look, Jimmy G playing from behind is a good thing for you. So that can help bust this thing open.
All right, just look a couple more of the numbers. Big play from Marquez Valdez-Scantling. It was nice to see him get down the field vertical. Travis Kelce, 5 catches, 480 yards. Just more of the same for that dude. Juju Smith-Schuster, 3 catches for 30 yards. And again, you got to shout out the Chiefs offensive line. Seems like there was an emphasis, to your point, that Mahomes sitting in the pocket a little bit better. But again, we will be going live post-game from the Kingdom Bar and Grill here, and Maddie Lane and Craig Stout will be joining us on that post-game show. So hopefully talking about a Chiefs victory. But before we let everybody go, final thought.
Yeah, hey, protect the football, score early. I think that's the formula for the rest of this game. I think I'm not really into style points this week. Just get out of here with the win. Yeah. Get to the bye week with the dub. I don't really care how it happens. Just get it done.
Yeah, you listen to us throughout the week that this was going to be a pretty close game. This is going to be a grinded-out type football game. It's just the way that the 49ers play. And they got a little juice with Christian McCaffrey. Probably got a little juice going into halftime right there with the missed field goal. But I think you'll bring up great points. Hopefully they attack a little bit better. Get some pressure on Jimmy G, and they get down to the red zone. One thing I love about Steve Spagnuolo is he is going to do what he does, and he is going to send a house. He's going to get pressure. We saw it on the interception from Josh Williams right there. Cover 0 again inside the red zone, which is just a Steve Spagnuolo thing.
I love it. Yeah, not too many qualms with that. And yeah, get them behind the sticks. Good things are going to happen.
Tucker, before we let everybody go, do you got anything to add?
No, just score more points than the Niners and take care of the ball and tackle. Those are my points.
Score more points than the other team.
Yep.
Affect the other quarterback.
Yep.
Don't turn it over.
Yep.
Dynamite job in, Tucker.
Thank you. That's
All
what you get.
Did you get any questions? We got about another minute, I think, here. Did we get any good questions that you want us to respond to, Tuck?
Well, a lot of people are just kind of venting about Buckner missing the field goal. I think it's a common frustration we've seen. It's been kind of a vent session in the chat here about, number one, the weak penalty. I think a lot of people want it to be explained. This was a good one here.
The Jerick McKinnon
chop block penalty. They want that explained. I don't know how to explain it.
He's not engaged with anybody else. I'm not going to pretend to understand, know the rule off the top of my head. It just feels like that's a play you see all the time from every running back all the time ever.
Yeah.
If he's outside of the tackle box, it's legal, I believe, is the call. And they said he was inside the tackle box. He was not.
Can't wait to draw that one up later.
I think it also looked like in the replay that Bosa jumped over him. It didn't look like he really made that much contact.
He's also wide.
Yeah. He's a wide 9, wasn't he?
Looked like
I think so. Yeah.
All right, we're getting ready for the second half again. Make sure to hit that like and subscribe button, turn notifications on, because, again, we'll be going live right after the game, hopefully talking about a Chiefs victory so they can go into that bye week and Thanksgiving, go into Halloween with that victory. But we appreciate everybody for tuning in to Halftime Show here, and we will see you after the game.